Well, it looks like it's about that time. Hi, everybody. I'm Haley. I don't know if you guys have ever met me before. I don't know who's in the chat right now. Just drop an emoji. But today we're doing a Zine 101 class. I have made 4 full-size zines and a mini zine now. All can be found on my... Actually, if you want to support me, they can all be found on my Ko-fi for free for the PDFs. For physical copies, the prices vary, but feel free to peruse. And if you like the stream and you enjoy it and you want to keep it going, please consider supporting me. I have all my links listed. And then if you can't support financially, following me will always mean a lot to me. I mean a whole bunch to me. And just for housekeeping purposes, I have my next art show for the mini market at the Bakery South. It's called If the Creek Don't Rise, and it is a Southern Gothic. Little art gallery, but I'm part of the mini market, so I'd really appreciate if you guys came out to support that and support the other artists. So we are just here today to do some zine work, and while we wait for everybody to just kind of file in for the chat, we're just gonna chat a little bit. We're gonna do some zine history. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will look at them towards the end of the seminar class thing. I'm gonna try to get to as many as possible, just based on how many questions. And I'm gonna try not to keep you guys for longer than an hour and a half, because I know it's Saturday, it's beautiful outside where I am. I wouldn't want to be cooped up all day watching a Twitch stream either. But if you like doing that thing, we can talk about that. But for today, we're just gonna cap it at an hour and a half. So around 2:30, I'll let y'all go if that's the way it's working. And yeah, that's what we got. So first off, about zine history. Zine, we can start with like the whole media thing of just like the Gutenberg press, but that's not really relevant for our conversation today. It is relevant as far as the printmaking part of it, but sorry, I'm like messing with my hair. As far as the printmaking part of it, but let's talk about like the history of zine making, because zine making starts in the 30s. There's a really great video by Braddy Bree. She's on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. You can find her anywhere that you can find reels. But she does a really excellent about the Black history origins of zine making in Harlem, these little books from Harlem. But zine making starts in the 30s. It was a really great way to distribute information, especially in a science fiction context. Like zines are, you can't really have zine history without zine sci-fi history. So when we think about sci-fi, we think about fan fiction, kind of ahead of its time, progressive kind of things that wouldn't normally get published. So we're talking about queer content that might be a little risque for a 1930s, 1940s audience. So like anything involving sex or violence or just depending on what era, because we get the Hays Code, and that just kind of creates this environment of censorship. And plus with, we get into the 40s and 50s, we get into the McCarthyism. Zines are really important because they're self-published and they are also non-commercial, so anybody can publish them, and that's why I like them. I like them because anybody can publish them. Anybody can say, hi, Palmer. Oh, hi, it makes me so happy that you're here. Sorry. Anyway, so zine making, it's got a very kind of niche, taboo, not taboo per se history, but just things that wouldn't normally get published for a mainstream audience. So, and then we go into the 60s, and then with the 60s we have more of a Star Trek fandom kind of influence for the science fiction, and the first kind of fan fictions we get for Star Trek. Like one of the first fan fictions ever recorded was from Star Trek. I believe it was a Spock, Captain Kirk, if I remember correctly. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments, because I find that very funny if it would be Spock and Kirk. But they were called pastiche. They weren't called fanzines, or they weren't called fan fiction. They were called pastiche. And again, one of the first recorded was a Star Trek. So we get into the 50s and the 60s, and it's more of a self-circulating kind of publishing that allows for, again, topics that wouldn't normally get published, like fan fiction, smut, queer writings, niche, like little groups that wouldn't normally have the money to publish. A lot of them turned political. Well, they were always political, but in the 70s and 80s, they got extremely political with the punk movement. Punks really liked going to like coffee shops, and they would distribute anti-fascist zines, zines about local goings-on in communities, mutual aid, things like that. They got more of a second life as political commerce and communication that was non-commercial for punks, and again, geeks. And what are geeks other than punks who have a little bit more money? That's debatable, but we can talk about that again later. And then you get into the 70s and 80s, and then here comes the 90s and the 2000s. We get Riot Girl, and Riot Girl, again, a lot about publishing niche feminist queer ideas for an audience that wouldn't receive it normally. So you could like leave them at your library or leave them like in public, and people would pick them up and just like, oh, what's this? It's free literature. Essentially. And then we get into the 2010s and 2020s, and now we can just distribute zines through Etsy. A lot of people distribute them just through social media. It's become like a really kind of throwback way to be creative, and that's kind of where we're at here today. We're kind of just, I use my zines for an expression of things I normally wouldn't want to express to people in my life, personal information about myself, while keeping it artistic and vague, and I can still connect with people, but not necessarily on a way that is overexposing myself. That's why I like making zines. It's also a creative itch for me. My favorite thing about making zines growing up, I loved collaging in art class. That was kind of when I was in between projects and just wanted to chill out. I loved cutting up old magazines. I don't think I have any currently, but I might have pictures. I might post them to my Ko-fi later. That's another thing. If you want like regular updates from me, I post most on my Ko-fi and I post most on my Instagram. So follow me. We can be friends. If you were watching the stream today, just send me a DM and be like, I watched your stream, follow me back. And I would love to follow you back and keep some communication going. So let's think about it. Is there anything else I put in my notes today? If you want information, I'm going to post this towards the end, about resources that you can have other than myself, and if this is your introduction to zine making, welcome. Our zines from Reddit is an excellent resource. They're super supportive. People I've never met have read my zines. People who I've never, in different countries, have asked to do zine trades with me. And a zine trade is basically you send somebody zines, somebody sends you zines back. So it's a nice little system like that. Actually, let me show you some of my zines that I collected over the years. I think that'd be pretty interesting for some inspiration. This is my comic and zine magazine holder. Let's see what we got here. I have a camera that I'm going to show. It's like a bit flat, so we can all participate and see in the zine, so I don't have to hold them up to my web camera. Also, if I'm echoing, please let me know in the chat. If there's anything funky going on with the way that we are presenting here. All right. Let me switch modes here. Right. There we go. All right. Can you all still hear me? Put a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Hello? Oh, wait. Okay, y'all can hear me? That we're all good? Okay. Actually, I don't think that's still going. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. My mic wasn't hooked up. But anyway, here are some zines that I've collected over the years. I'm going to show this. Actually, I'm not going to show these because I did not get permission to show these. But this is a zine I picked up in New York. It's called Dangerous Encounters, and it's just sort of a new zine about different weird goings on in the world, and it's literally like a little, it's not even like a proper zine. Actually, I'm not, hold on guys, I'm so sorry. Unprofessional. That's not helping things. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So this is a zine about weird encounters all over the world. So it's sort of like a Inquirer thing. I picked this up in New York when I was visiting my sibling. So yeah, zines can be newsletters. Zines can be information you want people to know. Zines can be made up fiction. Zines can be really shitty. I think the shittier the better with zines. And the worse the quality, the better. So that's one. That's Dangerous Encounters, a freak's only guide to fucked up weird shit of the world over. Doesn't have an author on it, which is a shame, but that's okay. I've also got these Goth Gang zines from Eternia Press. They're on Etsy, and these kind of document the author's trip, sort of their journey through becoming goth in the 80s. When being goth was cool but not cool, and there was, I mean, like, you know, there's always status symbols when you're alternative, but just kind of the gatekeeping that was going on. And these are cool. These are just like, I think these were printed not in a mini zine style. These were printed kind of in a full zine style. Yeah, they've got like the little, they're not printed like a mini zine, which I'll show you how to make later today. And then these are kind of my new favorites. I got these in a zine trade. It is from Theo Houtling, Theo Zines, and they're all excellent. They're really short, but they're all so excellent and well thought out. These are mini zines. We're going to make those today. But they're super fabulous. A lot of these are about humiliation and sensory and nostalgia, which I totally relate to as a zine artist. I've also got Nosferatu, also from Eternia Press. Just different edited photos of Nosferatu. And little, it's kind of like a little children's book. Everybody says my head rubs are magical. Just, it's silly. It's really silly, but it's really creative. And that's kind of the whole gist. And I'm going to show you a couple more before we get into my zines and my process of making zines. Let me see if I can make this a little better. There we go. All right. So these are open letters to Lana Del Rey. There we go. Open letters to Lana Del Rey. Sorry about that, guys. By Claire Witch Project. She's one of my favorite zine makers. She actually went to, I think, University of Kentucky and took their zine program, and they're some of my favorite zines. They're just kind of about nostalgia and girlhood and just good things. I Want a Barbie, that one's one of my favorites. Ghost of Anna Nicole Smith. Love Letter to Filth. And then Lindsay Lohan, Everyone Loves You, very, very much. And we got a couple of more Theo zines. This one is an advice column zine. It's a queer advice column zine by Xeno Warrior Princess. So people write in Instagram questions, and she takes advice about, she gives advice about dating. as a queer person, especially if you're a sapphic queer person. They're really dope. They're some of my favorite zines, and they're funny, but they're also just very tender. I like them quite a bit. And last one but not least, before we get to my stuff, I picked this one also in New York. This one is a film zine. This is about just niche cult films and interviews. There's a really good interview in here that's my particular favorite. It's a review of an Italian-American exploitation film about football players who go rescue their football coach's daughter in like a fiery inferno of machine guns. But yeah, again, really kind of niche, but interesting and funny and heartwarming and touching in just a way that you can't really get for mass-produced publishing. So that's why it's important. You know, your voice is just as important as everybody else's, and you totally deserve to express that in any way that you want to. Oh, what's this? This is my first scene. I want to talk about a little bit about the things I would do and the things that I would don't with making your first zine. I just made the decision to print my zines professionally. And the thing about that is quality can be an issue when you're not doing it yourself. It's always recommended that you bulk print with different companies. I did Office Max. I think this wasn't my best zine. This is my first zine. I really didn't take the time I wish I had with the publishing because I'm not a fan of the borders, but it is really near and dear to my heart. And I wish I'd printed myself because I would have saved some money that way. But yeah, this is my first zine. The way I made this zine is I did photo collage. I did photo collage with magazines and pictures of myself from throughout my adolescence and early 20s. I collected a lot of collage supplies from my art teacher who very kindly gave it to me. I had a bunch of magazines and just cutouts that I had saved from high school, and I put them all together and made the zine. I also, in my creative process, I just tend to write things down that I'm feeling. I kind of have these creative first draft poetry that kind of, it's not even poetry, it's just kind of free verse type things that I put together with this, and with one kind of narrative piece that went with it. So that was my first zine. That was something I wouldn't do with those. Let me see how many people are with it. Maybe we can start in a second. 3 people. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming, and thank you for showing up. I was not expecting people to show up, so I really, really appreciate that you did. All right, we good? Everybody doing good? Does everybody have their supplies? If you'll just comment in the chat if you have your supplies and if you're ready to make a zine, because I would be happy to start. Screw it, let's start. First thing we're going to make today is an 8-page mini-zine. It's really a 6-page with a front and a cover. Really, really easy to do. It does take some practice and some getting used to, but it's your most surefire way of making a zine reliably and continuously. I'll show you an example of a zine, but this is my little practice piece, just so you can, actually let me number these real quick so we can have a little bit more instruction. So this is going to be your cover. Got page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. Then back cover. All right. So let's open it up and see what this looks like. So we basically just have a single sheet of paper, like super easy, you know, just an 11 by 11 and a half by, or 11 by 8.5, sorry. 11 by 8.5 piece of paper, like normal printer paper. This is just something I had laying around. And you fold it, and then you, if you want a 4-page zine, you won't cut it, but if you want a 6-page zine, you'll cut it. And how we do this, we're gonna go slow first, and I'm gonna show you an example, and then we'll do it together for real. So, first thing you do is you're gonna wanna fold it hamburger style, and then we're gonna do it hot dog style, if I can remember how I folded this, but hot dog style, and then we're gonna fold it hamburger style. Oh wait, I totally did this wrong. My apologies, guys, it's hard to kind of figure out what I'm doing. So, okay, hot dog style, hamburger style again. And then you got your 4-page zine, so it's cut, so it won't be that, but. And then I put a little black line so you can see where to cut, but you'll cut in the middle. And typically what I do is I get a little pair of scissors, and I'll snip it in the middle, and then I'll go through the back and then cut it that way. And another way, if you don't feel that confident in doing that, you can get a little X-Acto knife, and you can use your puncturable surface to just slice through it. Let me show you an example of a mini zine that I made, so you guys just have a clear idea of what the kind of things that you can do with a mini zine. This is my mini zine Biscuits. It's going to be in the If the Creek Rises art show that I'm attending, and it's a 4-page zine. I wasn't really wanting to make a 6-page zine for this one just because I want it to be full of, I wanted the pages to look fuller, so that's how I did it. And the way that I made this zine was I cut out little scraps that I had it from a recipe book, and then just some various other scraps that I had. Hold on, somebody said the link isn't working. Give me 2 seconds, I will be right back just to make sure the link is working. Okay, it looks like the link is working, so that's great. Just for anybody who is tuning in now, we are going to go ahead and make our mini zine for today. So what you're gonna need, is a piece of paper. Any piece of paper is great, but if you've got copy paper, that's wonderful. Just standard copy paper, nothing special. And we're gonna make a little mini zine for that. But I wanna go ahead and show you the mini zine that I'm gonna be selling at that mini market that I was talking about. Okay, so just a little sneak peek. I used scraps, which is always acceptable for zine making. And then I just decided to make it kind of feel like you're reading a recipe card. Let me get that into the, oh, that came up, that's not good. I made it like a little recipe card. So I used my own handwriting, but it's combination printouts, and then scraps, and then my own handwriting, just to kind of give it a homey feel. And the way that I mass produce these, essentially, I use my copy printer. I have a scanner attached to my printer. If you don't have them, your local library definitely has them, and they let you make copies for really, really cheap. So utilize your local library. That is, if you any main takeaway that you want to take away from today's zine class is utilize your local library, because they love when people get involved, and they will definitely want to distribute your zines. So take advantage of that. But anyway, copy and printer. Let me clear off some space real quick and I'll show you mine. I just typically use, I play around with my own settings. Your settings will be unique to your printer and the things that you decide to do with it. But you know, the traditional and cheapest way is to just do black and white. Let me switch you guys around here. Zip printer. Sorry for those motion sickness. So this is my copier, and you know, I'll just copy it like a normal, and I'll export it to my computer, and then I can print actual copies of my zines. So just giving you all a taste of what this is going to look like. So we're going to just show that. Do black and white for ease of access. I'm not going to make you guys watch my me printing for zine. That's really funny. But what if I did? What if I did? That would be art. Everything is art if you can make enough money. No, that's another reason why I really like zine making, is because it's accessible to anybody. Zine making, you can say anything you want, and nobody can really stop you. Just restrict your access to printers. And you totally will become the annoying zine friend. Be like, read my zine. But people can just get used to that because, again, you're important and your words are important. Well, this didn't come out exactly as planned, but essentially you get the idea. You know, you get your little 4-page zine. I will go ahead and make a zine with you. I'm literally just going to make a grocery list for my zine. Let me put you onto that. So we're going to do the folds together. So go ahead, grab your clean sheet of paper. If you want to just kind of cheat the system a little bit, feel free to put pencil marks numbering your system when you do this. So we're going to do this together, and if anybody needs me to slow down, anybody needs me to speed up, just put in the comments. I am just relying on y'all to tell me how I'm doing. So and I appreciate what you have to say. All right. So first things first. Hot dog style. Let me get this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. All right. Hot dog style. And if you want really smooth creases, I recommend getting a bone folder or just using a regular ruler. Next thing we're going to do, seam side up, so this little part we folded over. We're going to fold it in half hamburger style. This is why this is important, to kind of make everything go flat. All right, hamburger style. This is not necessary, you can just use your fingers, but I like doing this just for crispness. Keep it crisp, you know. All right, so we've got our little, so we had it like this, and now we're going to do it like this. So it's a little booklet, you know, just 2-page booklet, and then from here, we're going to fold that hamburger style again in half. This is what this is good for. We're just going to flatten them out. And if they're not perfect, that's totally okay. The shittier the better. That's what I've learned with zine making. So just for ease of access, I'm going to use Sharpie to show you what I'm doing. So you can decide if you already have pre-cut out things. You can go ahead. I'm just going to number them a little bit more subtly. Oh wait, I totally forgot like the most important stuff. We're gonna make an 8-page zine. Screw it. No, we're making a 6-page zine real quick, and then we'll make an 8-page zine. Okay, got our 6-page zine. So, cover page, second page, third page, fourth page, and fifth page. And you're like, Haley, what is this? What is this gonna do? That's where we get our puncturable surface. I've got the back of a notepad for mine because it's cardboard. And then we get our stapler. Trick for full-size zines, which we will get to later in the session, which we've got about an hour left, guys. So thank you for hanging in here with me. I really appreciate you being here. We're just gonna do a little staple. So they're all together. And they're all fastened, so they're secure. All right, so literally for mine, I'm going to make a grocery list. So again, freedom of creativity here. If anybody wants to share their zine topic, go ahead and just put it in the chat. So I'm gonna do grocery list. That is not legible. Grocery list. And I'm going to draw a little. This is the part where if you like collaging, you can have a little collage session. I don't feel like collaging right now. I'm just going to make a little simple mini zine, something I can just put up. And I'm gonna make a little apple, a little baguette, maybe a chicken leg. I'm hungry. It kind of looks like a picnic basket. Just gonna give it somewhere to float. All right, so we got page 2. I'm gonna do dairy. So it's kind of like Blue's Clues core. This is kind of what I've got going on for mine. If you end up making your own zine during this session, tag me on Instagram. I'm at Haley Lazerface, and I would love to see it. And again, does not need to be perfect. We are all students of art and life, and we definitely do not need to strive for perfection. That is not the goal. So I've got my gotta specify. I'm a hypocrite. So I've got oat milk, and then not oat cheese. So that's my dairy. I'm gonna do meat and fish because I eat both those things. I'm gonna draw a little chicken. This is a scary looking chicken, but that's okay. Kind of a little. And then I'm gonna draw a little fish. So I got my dairy and my meat and fish. Let's do bread. Bread. Sorry, Palmer. And then we're gonna do some fruit and veggies. That's a fruit of indistinguishable notions. And some spinach, because I like spinach. Vitamin A. And then sorry for the silence. I'm getting into it. This is meditative, you know. You could literally draw out your really shitty day. will be $1,000. And I'm like, I have no money. But yeah, no, this is literally just a grocery list zine, little 4-page zine, just cute and stupid, and, you know, doesn't need to be serious. Like, this is just something for your own creative enjoyment, or monetization, depends on who you are, what you're doing, that kind of thing. But yeah, that was kind of fun to make. All right, so we got our grocery list zine. Let's make a 6-page mini zine. Quick. Alrighty. Alright, can you guys still hear me? Because my roommate just informed me my external and internal mic. Thank you, Lydia, for that. I'm going to say that y'all can still hear me, so that's good. Alright, let's do this one more time. 8-page zine time. We got hot dog fold, hamburger fold, another hamburger fold, oop. I'm going to number it one more time so everybody can see. I screwed this up, but this will be fun. Okay, so this is where we're going to cut. I'm going to draw the line where we're going to cut. So this is what I do. This is how I cheat the system. I take my scissors and I fold this in half, hot dog style. And I just make a little tiny minuscule cut there. And then from there, I go flipping it around back, and I just very gently cut through. And another option you can do, just take your X-Acto knife, make sure you've got your puncturable surface, and then you can just do a little cut. And that's a little neater if you're planning on selling these. And then what you'll want to do from there, we're going to fold it in half again, but this time what we're going to do, see these two, in these last zine we made, we had these two little internal panels that we just stapled shut. They're going to become our extra pages. So little difficult for this one, so hot dog style, and then you're just going to very gently pull it out so it makes kind of a cootie catcher kind of shape, kind of like a star. Then what you'll do is you'll fold these this way, you'll fold it that way, and you'll close them. So now this is your cover. So let's go back and number these a little differently. Cover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then back page. So 8-page zine. So let's take a look. Perfect. Okay. So what do you think we should do for this one? Do you guys want to comment and give me a suggestion? I think for this one, I'm going to do something a little bit more complicated, and I'm just going to write some scraps on some little dollar store color paper. Let's see. I'm going to... draw all the shapes I know. So, first one's a heart. Then we got a circle. It's not a circle. It's not a perfect circle, but it's a perfect whatever it is. That's a quote from a tarot deck. If anybody knows Morgan's Tarot, that's like one of my favorite tarot decks just because it's sassy. It's just really sassy. What are some other shapes? I know a trapezoid. I know a rectangle. Got a diamond. There are lots of shapes. There's lots of potential for this zine. Got a cylinder. Got a pyramid. A sphere. Yeah, lots of potential here. So I'm just gonna cut these out. Like little dorky zine. Like doesn't need to be serious in any kind of way. If you want to be serious, yes, be serious. But also, creativity doesn't have to be intense. It can just be something that you like to do just because you like to do it. How's everybody doing so far? Everybody good? Everybody feeling confident in their zine making skills so far? Good. Thank you for commenting, Palmer. It makes me really happy that you guys are here. I was really excited but nervous to do this, and just having a few people to hang out with while I'm doing something new is really nice. Recently, I made zines for the first time in a really long time. And I took about almost like a 3-year break from making them. I made 3 zines kind of quickly, not super quickly, but moderately quickly. Like I made first one 2019, and the second 2 in 2020. And then I made this last zine. It was kind of a work in progress. I was just like, I'm going to make another zine, whatever. I was really scared to do it. I didn't have any creative inspiration for a really long time. I just didn't know what I'd make a zine about. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know like if anybody would like it or read it. And thankfully, and very luckily for me, a lot of people supported me and made me push through my own insecurities about my art and my own hang-ups about what success looks like. And I was able to make these zines, and it's been really rewarding. I've met and talked to a lot of really cool, new, interesting people who I wouldn't have made those connections with before, like Theo. Yeah, shout out Theo. Like, I don't know if you were able to make this zine stream, but if you did, I really appreciated you reaching out to send me those zines. That meant the world that somebody wanted to read my art. That's all we want, right? Is just to be listened to. Alright, get a staple. I'm gonna do it the other way so it looks a little cleaner. So the staple is clean, it's not bumpy. People like that kind of thing. I gotta make a cover. I'm gonna call it Shady Shapes. But yeah, no, I mean, like, because of zines, like, and zine making and getting over my own bullshit, I've been able to make, be in this art show. I've never been in an art show before. I mean, in high school I would, but, like, again, it was nothing I ever got paid for, and that's kind of amazing, to be in kind of a crazy privilege just to be paid for your art. I think everybody should pursue that at least once in their lives. you know, if it doesn't work out, there's no shame in trying. You know, you gave it your all. You know, and that's all you can really tell yourself. But I don't even tell yourself. That's all you can really do. But you know, pursuit of your own art is a very pure, very noble cause. Even if it's bad. I think especially if it's bad. All right. Look at that cover. See, like it looks like something real. It looks like a real thing. That's just the power of cutting shit out and pasting it, you know? Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at in my journey currently. Nothing major, just, you know, starting out, trying to give myself a fair shot and trying to enjoy it while I'm doing it. I find myself getting caught up in the rat race of it all, especially just kind of the common consensus for a lot of people who are pursuing being makers online and selling their art. It's just rough out there because of the recession, and that's kind of really the importance of supporting each other, you know, like not to pimp my own shit, but like, you know, if you've got something you'd like to support, I'm not super fluid right now, but I would love to support you guys in any way I can, because that's what makes it a community, is just that constant support. What I'm curious about, though, from y'all is this your first time making a zine? Is this, you know, are you a veteran zine maker? Have you made a zine once, but, like, wanted to learn a little bit more about it? Like, what's y'all's story? Like, that's something I'm really curious about. Like, is zine making your thing? Do you do a different kind of art? Do you do... See, again, it looks like something now. Just the power of color, right? The color and cutting shit out. But yeah, no, I would love to hear y'all. I would love to hear your stories about it, and I know that for myself, I really wanted to. When I first started out, like making art and stuff, I really wanted to draw manga. And the thing about manga is it's really, really fucking hard to make. I don't know if you guys ever had a manga drawing phase or anime drawing phase, but it is so hard. It is such a hard medium to master. But I really embraced it for a long time, and I really enjoyed it. And then I kind of translated into more of a cartoony style. I wanted to write comic books for a really long time. I thought I wanted to, like, write my own comic book, and I never did, but maybe that's something I should do in the future, and I can just make a zine about it. And then from there, I picked up ceramics, and I really enjoyed that when I was doing that. And then I didn't have access to a ceramics program for a really long time, and I tried it again, and it was the class I took was a little bit more advanced than I would be normally used to. And so I quit, but I would like to start again at some point, maybe with a more beginner-friendly class. That was something I really enjoyed. That's something I found a lot of creativity is in the general making of things versus drawing. I like drawing a lot. I struggle doing it for the most part. Looks like we're going to need more shapes. I'm going to do a parallelogram. I kind of already did a parallelogram, but it was kind of a diamond. Maybe, I can do a star. Let's do a star. Stars are hard. But yeah, and then I found out about zine making. What was the first time I found out about zine making? I think the first time I ever heard the term zine was in, believe it or not, the Princess Diaries book series. The main love interest, who is the brother of the best friend of the main character, who is Princess Mia, if you've ever seen the movie. In the book, he had a webzine called Crackhead. And I was just like, what's a zine? You know, like, and I would Google it, and I didn't really kind of understand it. And then you know, I kind of came back to that, and I always really wanted to make a zine. Like, you know, in high school, I was like, I want to make a zine. I want to make a zine. And I never figured it out, so I just kind of did it myself. Like, there were some good resources. I think I made a mini zine first. I don't know what that mini zine was. I probably threw it away because I was not feeling very confident in my art at the time. But, which is sad. I think if you're not feeling confident in your art, you should still keep it because it's a good reference of where you came from, you know? But yeah, no, that's when I first heard the term zine, and I was going through my old journals recently, and I'm just like, and I found like a goal for my senior year was to make a zine, and I didn't do it, and I didn't do it, and I didn't do it, and then my therapist was like, you got to make something, you know, you haven't made art in a really long time, and that was something that was really, really good for you, and I was like, fine, I'll make a fucking zine. And so I made the zine, and I made it for my therapist, and she really, really liked it, and my friends really, really liked it, and so I just, you know, gathered my ideas together and kept making it. And, you know, the great thing about creativity is once you kind of get the ball rolling and kind of get over that initial embarrassment, it's a lot easier. Like, don't be afraid of being bad. Like, being bad is a gift. Like, people shit on it. That's just because they're insecure about their own, like, anti-perfection, you know? It's kind of bullshit. What should be our last shady shape? I think I'm going to make a... Oh my god, Tumblr reference. The Pythagorean theorem. This is a very poor isosceles triangle. Oh, wait, no, wait. Is it a... Fuck, I forgot my triangle. But remember on Tumblr, though, when that was, like, a meme? Like, the isosceles triangle. That was always my favorite part in math. I really liked that unit. I'm not very good at math, but that was kind of one of my favorite things about doing it. I like math when it's when I get into a flow. I think for the last one, I'm gonna make a cube because cubes are easy. So if you've never made a cube before, here's a fun hack. You can just kind of draw two squares of each other and then just connect all the vertices together. So there's our square. Yeah, and then my zines have always been kind of a reflection of, I mean, my art in general. It kind of just used to be pretty girls being edgy. Which is great, you know, like, I think there's a really important part of edgy girls being pretty, you know, or pretty girls being edgy. But it didn't really say anything, you know, didn't really speak in any kind of way, maybe just kind of masked my rage at the world. But, yeah, it didn't really say anything, and then, you know, and then I started saying shit, you know, I started, don't forget to sign your work, that's how people know it's yours. So, but anyway, like, yeah, that's, I just got really personal about the things I had gone through, but in a way that was comfortable to me, you know, like, that's kind of something they don't really talk about, in, you know, protecting yourself from other people. As an artist, I think boundaries are good. I think, you know, finding out who you are as an identity versus who you are as a person is really important. Like, there's just some things, if you don't know me in real life, you're never going to know about me. But, you know, with my artwork, this guy has a cigarette. He's also at a party, but he's shady. But yeah, no, like, just, I feel like, you know, your privacy is really important. And as an artist, and, you know, having your own boundaries with that is really important. So that's why I'm not, like, super duper specific about the things I've gone through, because I I think they can relate to a larger audience. Like, people can kind of pull what they want to out of my art, which is fine, you know, that's totally fine. But also, my experiences are my own, and I'm allowed to keep them to myself if I want to. This one's Snotty. I like her a lot. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on art in general. That kind of went off in a tangent. We're not really doing zines anymore, but, you know, this guy's happy. This guy's not that shady. Actually, he steals credit card info. But yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, so again, we made a little zine together, just for funsies, not for anything serious. Like, this is just, it can be silly. Like, I think that's something we forget, you know, in the process of being artists and trying to make a living and survive doing what we love is, you know, it can just be silly. It can just be kind of goofy, you know. But look, you've made 2 zines now, if you're following along. You got Grocery List and Shady Shapes. Okay, how we doing? Everybody doing okay? We all feeling good? Doing good? All right, cool. I like your little, is it a, it looks like a, you know, that's what I need for this channel is if I like start doing this regularly, I really want like Paul Blart Mall Cop, little guys. That'd be real funny. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a more complicated zine now. This is actually less complicated in a lot of ways. So I'm only going to do one just because we only got about 30 minutes left. But yeah, thank you for hanging in if you've been hanging in, and thank you for supporting if you've been supporting. I'll put that screen back up in a second. I'm actually gonna get some water, so let's take let's meet back at 2:00. Just grab some water if you need to, and I'm gonna put back up my support stuff. So if you got a couple of bucks to throw at me, it's much appreciated. But if not, a follow would be much appreciated. And again, if you wanna follow me and you're watching the stream, go ahead and DM me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to follow you back. Yeah. Okay, switching gears. So, got my paper, just folded it hamburger style. I've got 2 sheets. So this is gonna make just a zine. And this was a class assignment I had from one of my favorite professors. This was a horror and just a horror film genres class. And that, it was pretty baller. If you ever go to KSU and you have Larry Dudenhofer, he's literally the best professor ever, and I loved his classes so much. I had to drop out of a couple, but just because I've got my own shit going on sometimes. But seriously, some of my favorite classes. So 8-page zine, super freaking easy, and it's printed out. So this is just like general work that I've done, and I'm just gonna cut it up and I'm gonna paste it, and that's gonna be my zine. I'm gonna make a cover for it while we're doing that. You know, making zines are kind of like, if you ever liked doing like early 2000s, what's that called? Sorry, early 2000s elementary school craft projects, or like middle school craft projects. This is going to be your whole bag, basically, because I really like doing those. Effort hard, but effort worth it. So yeah, I've just got my little prompt here. And again, like full-size zines, they're really great for essays. They're really great for comics. Just larger ideas get larger zines. That's kind of my rule for it. Unless it's just, I mean, like I'm really proud of my mini zine biscuits. Not just because I'm doing stuff with it, but just because it came from a genuine place, and it is a big idea, but it's just contained in a small little package. I now have a greater appreciation for people who do this for hours, because I'm already getting tie-tie. But I appreciate you guys hanging in here with me. It's been a lot of fun. All right. So I'm just going to cut these out a little bit more. So like literally, just first page. It's not going to fit, but I'm just going to present it in an interesting way, which means sideways, or diagonal sideways. And I'm going to get some different glue. Give me 1 second. So I've got just your standard Elmer's school glue. And if I can get the, yep, cool. And just gluing it down. Nothing too complicated. And last 15 minutes of this, I'm going to take questions. So if you got any questions about stuff that's been going on in the class, I will be answering those while I finish up the lesson. So if you got any questions about anything that we've talked about today, just let me know. Let me know in the comments. And if you, again, you can reach me at anywhere, basically, any social media platform with Haley Lazerface. The laser is spelled with a Z, because being 14 is hard because he can't spell good. And then I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to draw shit while we're talking. Again, does not need to be good. Just needs to be honest. So this is Paranormal Cabin Fever. Evil. For emphasis. Alright, and then I've got my text here. Since I am drawing in Sharpie, I'm not going to draw on this one, but we're just going to kind of take what's in the text and make little cartoons of it. My recommendation is your pictures match your text, very obviously, but with that, again, you can just really take things that that are personal to you that other people wouldn't know about and give them without context. You know, it's not always about what people know, it's about what they feel, and people tend to be able to feel what your intents are for art. I'm going to add some color to this. So I'm going to get out my handy dandy 64 pack with the sharpener, because stealing shit from your parents' house is da bomb. Alright, on these, I'm just going to draw some demons and some bloody people. Alright. Alright, we got about 13 more minutes in class, so if you have any questions, now is the time, and if not, share with me what you made today, just in the comments, if you're feeling up to it. You know, if you're down for that, and if you're not, just, I don't know, just vibe with us for about 15 more minutes. I'm trying to think if I have any more final wisdoms about art I want to share with y'all. I'm still very much in my process for accepting myself as an artist. Just for full disclosure, you know, like, the thing is, even if you feel like not put together, most of the world won't notice, you know, if you just pretend that you know what you're doing. And that's the truth about life in most cases, I found, is just, you know, just pretend like you belong. Pretend like you are supposed to be there. Because chances are, you know, most people want you to be there. And they kind of expect you to be there. And if they don't, you know, fuck them. People like it when you show up. Me included. Which is why I'm really glad that we're all here together today. All right. So I got cabin fever. I'm just going to draw cabin. This feels like a kid in a horror movie who, you know, is seeing the monster before we really see the monster. And I don't know if you guys have ever, so like, just for context about the zine, just for shits and giggles, this paper was comparing and contrasting the two films, Paranormal Activity, which, and then Cabin Fever, which are both early 2000s horror films. And, you know, Paranormal Activity, you know, I think a lot of people have seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's about this couple, this, like, they're like a new couple, and they are being haunted by a demon. And, like, the wife gets possessed and stuff, and it's kind of takes influences from mumblecore, but it's like a found footage type film. And then with Cabin Fever, which I don't think as many people know, it's about these college kids who go on a cabin trip and they end up drinking the water, and the water makes them super horny but also makes their skin fall off. So it's again, similar themes, just one's a little bit more high budget than the other. And one, they both use sound and color in interesting ways. Kind of. That's not going to show up very well. But yeah, no, it was an interesting film. I really like Cabin Fever is kind of that early 2000s kind of shock humor. Like white people saying N-word kind of shock humor. Yeah, so if you can stand that, maybe watch it. But if that's not your thing, don't feel like it's required watching. It's just it's a product of its time. That's really what it is. I'm gonna leave these out. I'm having a party tonight, so I'm just gonna leave these out, and people are just gonna be like, Haley, what the fuck are you doing? It's just like, help. And I'm gonna leave the back page blank. Actually, I'm just gonna sign it, you know? I'm gonna sign my work. Haley Lazerface. So yeah, that's paranormal cabin fever. Evil. Alright, so let's talk before we leave in about 8 minutes. What do you do with your zines? If you don't feel like selling them, if you just make them for your own enjoyment, you can just leave them at your library. You can leave them in public places. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Like, they'll just throw them away. Or people will read them, which is pretty cool. So here's our full-size zine. If you want to sell them, I highly recommend Ko-fi because they don't take out a large fee. If you want to reach a wider audience, Etsy is a great place to sell your zines. The art market's really tough right now. I'm not even going to lie to you. Just because of the recession and just because of factors outside of our control, like people. All right, if you can still hear me, I am still online. So I'm taking questions, feedback, comments, concerns, anything you might want to know. And I'll be here for the next 5 minutes. But other than that, you are free to go. So thank you for showing up. My dream zine to work on. I've been working on this one zine. It's kind of more like a book, honestly. Like, I don't really know what to do with it because it's just getting too big. It's, my pitch for it is it's DBT, but using DBT through using tarot. So I'm a really big fan of doing like tarot cards. I really like, that's like one of my favorite things to do for people just in general. but I also really like DBT. DBT has been like my primary therapy for the last couple of years, and this would be like using tarot to apply DBT skills. So that's a much larger project. That might be like a 4-part zine series. And that will, I don't know if I'll ever, I don't know if I'm ready to put that out anytime soon, but that's like the big one that I've been working on for the past couple of months. I'm trying to think of what else I have in the works currently. We can just check my, hang on, let me check my handy dandy notebook. That's another thing. That's just another like little stupid tip that I have is if you don't have a journal just to dump your ideas in, like go buy one right now. They're at the dollar store for like $1. But yeah, no, I mean like I write down everything. I write down like just I put, and I also like put stuff in there like drawings I did while I was out, but let me look and see what some of my zine ideas. I wanted to do a zine idea about swimming is political. I worked at a pool, for those of y'all who don't know me like that. I worked at a pool for a couple of years, and I saw a lot of fucked up shit, and I really wanted to talk about, you know, why swimming is political on almost every aspect. So that's another thing that's in the works. Maybe that'll be a next summer thing, but that's something I'm definitely working on. That might be a collab piece if anybody has anything to contribute to that. But yeah, no, I've got lots of zine ideas. It's just about finding a way to express them. That's typically the hardest thing for me, is just trying to figure out the avenue in which to express things. Like, is it going to be through collage? Is it painting? Is it poetry? Is it essays? That kind of thing. So yeah, thank you for that question, Paul. All right, if that's it, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna end the live. I'm gonna end the stream, and yeah, thank you guys for showing up, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. Yeah, no, if you want to give me some feedback privately, my DMs are open. So great hearing from you, great being with you, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.